Hello and welcome to Teleislas News, the most relevant and important news of the day. During the swearing-in of the new secretaries, the governor announced the projects he will work on when he returns to the Coral Palace and indicated the alliances that will be made with private entities.
During his first day after the Ministry of the Interior reinstated his functions, Governor Everett Hawkins made change in his cabinet, appointing new secretaries who will carry out the All for the New Beginning Development Plan 2020-2023. The governor of the islands indicated which will be his priorities during this term and the public-private alliance that will be developed.
Desde luego, proyecto bandera del hospital.
Of course, the flagship project of the hospital. Also, the intervention of roads, the reconstruction of Old Providence, projects on the environmental issue, the recovery of corals, coastal erosion. We have to invest a lot. The agricultural coastal issue. There are several projects such as expeditions that we want to do to analyze the marine ecosystem. We have many things to do. We have to make an alliance with the private sector. We have been talking with the Archipielago Foundation to see if we can promote some projects that are in the development plan to promote the reconstruction or remodeling of some houses that need it.
Hawkins indicated that he will visit the municipality of Old Providence and Keklina in the next few days to know details of the reconstruction and meet with the authorities in charge. The governor said that he does not want crowders caravans upon his arrival to the island.
On Friday, on the last flight, I will leave to the island of Old Providence. I want to ask the community of the municipality, which I love. I know I am well received. I am also going to work for the island, but I'm very concerned because I have received calls saying that they want to make a caravan, but we have to be very wise. I would prefer that there were no crowds so that later there are no comments about me making calls for agglomerations during the pandemic, because that could cause me problems. I hope to visit other sectors of Old Providence and Santa Catalina.
The governor indicated to this news agency that during this week, adjustment will continue to be made to the administration.
The Secretary of Health of the Department, Julian Davis, gave us details of what will be the new batch of vaccines that was designated to the department in the last hours.
The Ministry of Health and Social Protection received 912,000 doses of vaccine from AstraZeneca in the early hours of Sunday morning and immediately carried out the allocation process in order to send them to the department as soon as possible to the different territories, as established in Resolution 453 of April 25th of 2021.
Yesterday, in a new resolution that was issued by the Ministry of Health and Social Protection, we were assigned 1,210 doses for the population from 60 to 69 years old and is from the commercial house AstraZeneca. These vaccines are assigned to start the vaccination of these people, and remember that these will be done under scheduling, i.e. they have to wait for the call and schedule to avoid overcrowding.
This scheduling process, according to the secretary, should start between today and tomorrow, and he explained how the process works.
The EPS send the databases to the Ministry of Health, who passes them through a validation mesh and returns them to the EPS, which then has to send them to the departmental IPS, which is the vaccinating IPS, to begin the scheduling of these people who have been validated in the system of the Ministry of Health.
To date, 7,265 doses of vaccines against COVID-19 have been applied in the entire department.
And the highest report on COVID cases in months. 81 COVID cases were registered today in the Archipelago Department, according to the daily report of the National Health Institute. Cases are on the rise.
Today we have a total of 81 active cases of COVID-19 in the Archipelago Department. The increase of cases is on the rise. According to the report of the National Institute of Health, the total number of registered cases has been 3,471. At the local level, the location of these new infection, age range, or health status has not been disclosed. However, it was reported that the COVID occupancy rate has been reduced to 41%, with 7 beds occupied out of 17 available. This journalistic host will follow up on the local report and the total number of active cases and recovered.
And regarding the letter sent by ASISAP to the Education Secretariat and to the interim governor of the department, the Secretary of Education in charge expressed her opinion, arguing several points.
The Union Association of Educators of San Andres, ASISAP, sent a letter in which they expressed their dissatisfaction with the return of the alternation system to the educational institutions of the department, arguing that this action is an imposition by the government which could put them at risk given the recent increase in cases of COVID-19 in the archipelago. Marjorie Forbes responded to the letter as a Secretary of Education in charge in the island.
El mismo gobierno central.
The central government itself is promoting the alternation model. This is not to say that everyone must enter at the same time as it has always been handled with 40 or 45 students in a classroom, but it is asking for alternation, which is a percentage of the students according to the amount that they have in each classroom so that they can be in the classroom with the teacher to acquire greater learning.
In addition, the education official clarified.
Dictar una clase por el WhatsApp.
It is not the same to give a class by WhatsApp, to give a virtual class, to give a class when the child is in bed, distracted, and on other things, and sometimes leaves the cell phone and does not even realize that the class is over. It is not the same.
On the other hand, first mentioned the issue of biosecurity protocols which are being verified for the return of minors to the island educational institutions.
Si la Secretaría de Salud.
If the Health Secretariat returns and finds that the educational institution is not in optimal conditions for the children to be on campus, they will not approve the school.
It is important to clarify that most of the educational institutions on the island have already been verified and started the alternation system, and only one school remains to be verified, but will be ready in the current week.
We continue with news from the municipality of Providence and Catalina. Despite the fact that in recent days the application of the second dose of Sinovac vaccine was started in the municipality of Providence and Catalina, the process had to be suspended pending the second doses from the Ministry of Health.
The application process of the second shot of CoronaVac in the municipality was also paused after having started this past Sunday. According to the director of the field hospital, this is due to the shortage of vaccines at a national level.
Utilizamos las dosis restantes del primer.
We used the remaining doses from the first shipment made by the Ministry of Health and Social Protection, which was 4,092 doses. Of these, there were some vaccines left over, which gave us a total of 900 vaccines, so we started vaccinating the second dose as far as we could.
Between Sunday and Monday, Old Providence achieved the immunization of 900 people with the second dose, and about 2,000 people are still missing in the municipality.
IPS y EPS se han visto en la...
EPS and APS have been forced to reschedule. We apologize to the community, to those who had their second doses scheduled. And to those who were not able to be covered among this batch of vaccines, please be attentive to the statement by the departmental ESE, because as soon as we get the next vaccines, we will restart vaccination.
On the other hand, a call was made to be aware, especially to young people, as to avoid events of massive affluence, given the notorious increase in cases.
En la actualidad tenemos aproximadamente 60.
Currently, we have approximately 69 active cases, so this is a call for awareness. We also know that there are groups that are coming to support the reconstruction of the municipality, and that is an additional factor that we are facing. But there are also people from the same community that have been positive for COVID-19.
The Ministry of Health announces that they are awaiting the arrival of the vaccines to the country today, and it's expected that in the next few days, vaccinations can be resumed.
And some members of the community of Old Providence have expressed their concern on social media and on television about how the piles or foundation posts are being installed for the new homes in the municipality.
Some residents of Old Providence are concerned about the construction of the new houses, since according to them, the columns on which they are being built should have a thin layer of concrete before the footing to help prevent them from sinking. However, it is not being done that way.
Well, I have a local complaint about the zapata them what the man and they make. They say that one good zapata they want to make, but I know that in this dirt where we have here Providence, the dirt them like sink and things like that. So them say they make the studio swell up, and the Arohara say you can go without cement. So I want to show the island and show the people them from Providence, say people them they do it bad. Because I know that in our Zapata you have to go a little bit cement in no sink, your iron them no sink.
According to some of the blueprints, the columns should have the flooring, which makes the situation even more disappointing.
They're making the Zapata them and they're digging out the hole and throwing back dirt in it and tamp it. That for me, that's not good. If they're supposed to put down rock and cement down in the hole, then set the plaque on top of it, then you could pour the plaque of them down in there. So we have to have these things in consideration.
The Islander builder asks that this process be reconsidered.
National government, local government, no make them do these things because in no way result good. The dirt, for example, in those places, you got ushpat. When rainy weather, the dirt swell. And when dry weather, the earth open up, so that's not good.
Teleislas News has tried to contact Findeter to get their position on this work, but so far we have not been able to arrange an interview.
Hello, here are the best sports of the island. With a view to future representation in national tournaments, the handball team began with their training. Floor handball is one of those sports that has been growing in our island department, thanks to the seriousness which is handled his training sessions. On the courts of the Pink Coliseum, under the guidance of Professor Jonathan Rubio, the pre-selection team began their training sessions in both male and female categories, with a view to participating for the next national handball tournaments.
Well, first of all, we prepare ourselves for a national game, and well, we got some tournament this year where we want, like always, like years before, become champion. We always, like in all the sport, them San Andres, overcome in everything, because we always get the best of we and try be the best and mark the difference.
Training with time is very important to achieve the goals in any sport. Our archipelago also have talent in track and field. Athletics is a sport that has proven to be very talented in the Caribbean islands. Stanley Jackson, a young man who wants to get ahead and demonstrate that he has what it takes and the qualities to raise the flag of our island department.
I'm athletic from 200 and 400 meter runner speed. Well, right now I come right here to find Patrocine. They can help me to go back Cali. I'm training land there, so I have like 3 months. I'm going to Cali to train. So I find the opportunity to land there with Kuban. And tell me say I have everything what him was looking, so he tell me to turn back. So I wait the opportunity and the help so he can go back Cali. I'm not afraid to run with anybody, so only had ready the time for I can go back and start training with the best students from Colombia.
According to this young athlete, his aspirations have no limits, but the support of the government plays a very important role in the achieving the objective.